All right, guys, so let's look at our agenda for today. Our agenda is we're going to do some good things. We're going to look at Schoology real quick, and then we're going to do our dice activity. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some good things. I will pause the video. Just because I don't want to make this video 10 hours long. And so here we go. Got to figure out how to make Screencastify pause on the same screen I'm on. Okay. If you do, something happens and you're not here, trying to do a better job at just organizing our Schoology page a little better. So let me unshare this really quick. Unfreeze this. So if you go to courses, guys, and we go to geometry, it's turning slow. All right, guys, a couple things. Screencastify. I'm posting these under class videos, guys, okay? So yesterday's geometry lesson from 9-9 is there. You're going to have to, I don't edit it and crop it and cut it and make it pretty. Whatever it is, I just upload to YouTube and put the link. So if you got to get through some of Mr. Roden scratching his head or whatever, or picking his nose or whatever, just fast forward all that stuff and go straight to the video of what you need. Sound good, guys? So that from now on, I'll try to screencastify everything that we're doing that day. Sound cool? So I'm going to keep screencastifying this just so the twins can see that. Hopefully they're watching this and see what we're doing here. All right, so okay, so let's go back to let me do this. Homework. So I just want to make sure it's clear. I was a little fuzzy on the homework. I added something, but let me just hold on. I didn't want that. Sorry. Man, my computer's slow and it's doing Screencastify. All right. So the homework is really important. Let's make the homework due Tuesday morning, first thing when you get here. And the official homework, this will not change, is right here. Let's click on that. The official homework is out of our booklet, and it's pages 9 through 11 plus 17 through 32. Okay? Sound good? All right, I need those done, ripped out, turned into me on Tuesday morning. How is that going? Do you guys feel that's is that reasonable of Mr. Roden? Okay, it's not, okay. No?
That's like 20 pages. Are we supposed to just turn in the book or rip all the pages?
What do you guys want to do?
Turn in the book.
Yeah, just turn in the book. That's fine. Yep, just turn in the book. Sound good? Yep, you don't have to rip it out. Okay, so just turn the book in. Yes. Great. It's up to you. If you want to rip them out, awesome. Just make sure your name's on it. If you want to turn the book in, great. Awesome. Now, we'll have a talk on Monday, okay? I want you guys to give this an honest effort. I don't want you to just say, oh, it's this many pages. Actually do the work and see how it's going, okay? I've never given these as homework like this. This is a new thing this year because of COVID. Last year was just a complete different story. So this is the first year I'm doing this. So I'm judging you guys. Need to tell me. I want it to be balanced. I want you guys to be challenged. I want you guys to learn. This is a pre-AP class, so we want to definitely be learning and working, but also we want it to be balanced and not just crazy homework where you're up all night. You guys understand that? So you guys need to talk with me. I'm a reasonable person. I will listen to your feedback. So Monday, I want you guys to talk with me. I want you guys to give this a good, honest effort today. And then on Monday, let's talk and see if that is a reasonable amount. I think it is, but I'll listen to your feedback. But don't come to me out of laziness and just say, it's that many pages and I don't want to do it because I'm lazy and I want to play Minecraft or whatever, okay? Now, nothing wrong with Minecraft, but I want you guys to give me an honest thing. Okay, sound good? I think homework has its place. I'm not trying to overwhelm you, but I also don't want to underwhelm you. I want to get that right balance with you guys this year. We're kind of still learning it with this new pre-AP geometry stuff. Sound good? Okay, so what I'm going to try to do is kind of talk about what's in that booklet using kind of, notes and things like that. So I don't want to just go through the booklet in class. The booklet's practice for you. Let's see if that works. And now what I want us to do is kind of learn what's coming up in this booklet. So what I want to do is I want to take a look at this, and We're going to do this dice activity today. Okay, it's a very simple dice activity. And all you're going to do is I'm going to you and your partner. So I'm going to give you a piece of graph paper, you and your partner. You can just, one graph paper is fine. And on your graph paper, you're going to create this is called a frequency table with a tally in it. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 dice. Okay. Let me just let me pull up random.org really quick. There's a video. You're going to actually use a real dice. But let me pull up random really quick. So I already had this up, and then I decided not to have it. Okay. So there's this website called random.org, and it is coming up. And I want to roll some dice roller. Okay, so what you're going to do, guys, is you're going to roll 2 dice, okay, you and your partner. You're going to roll it 2 dice 50 times. So you're going to roll it 50 times, and you're going to record the sum of the dice. Why isn't this not pulling up? Is this still pulling slow? Okay, so you're going to roll the dice, and you're going to record the sum 50 different times. You guys understand that? So there can only be sums of 2 through 12, correct? You can't have a sum of 0. You can't have a sum of 1 when you're rolling 2 dice. You can only have the smallest sum you can have is snake eyes, which is 2. And the greatest sum you can have is 12 with 2 sixes, double sixes. You guys understand that? So what we're going to do is, so every time you roll a 2, you'll put a tally. Every time you roll a 3, you'll put a tally. And so on, so on, so on, so on. But make sure you roll it 50 times, 50 different rolls. Add them up, tally it up, and then write your frequencies there. After that, I want you to make a histogram. Now, I want our bins to be 1, okay? So we're going to have a bins of 1, and now we center our bins right in the middle, so aligning our bins in the middle, and we'll talk. So basically, I'll have this up on the screen. I want you guys to make your bins look like this, okay? We're just going to make bin sizes of 1. Now, if you can see that, yeah, we're not going to have any bins. 0 will have it there, but we're not going to use it. 1 will have it. So our first one with any height will be 2. Do you guys understand that? So I'm going to give you a piece of graph paper. It's a partner activity. You guys can work on it together, the same piece of graph paper. And you're going to roll 50 times, and then you're going to make a frequency table, and then you're going to make a histogram out of that. And then we're going to talk about some stuff out of that histogram. Sound good? All right. So are there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
When you say partners, you see, I don't have.
I'll get your partner. Okay. Yep. All right. So let's see if we can do groups of 2 here. All right. So now let me turn screen Castify off, just because I don't want to make this video 17 million hours long. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do, and I'm just putting this onto the video so you guys can hear me. I'm going to go. We're also in Desmos. I can find my pen here. I want you guys to enter this data into Desmos, and I want you to find the mean. I want you to find the median, and then I want you to find the mode. Okay, so then you go ahead and do that. Okay, so if I'm looking at Sam and Chris's data, what would f of 0 be equal to? F of 0, what would that be? It'd be 0, right? Now, here's the deal. It would be 0, but is this function defined? So before we can actually decide which numbers to plug into this function, we need to talk about 2 things. Well, we need to talk about one thing. We need to talk about our domain of our function, okay? Because remember, when we're looking at this, we probably don't want to put in f of 0, right? Yes, it kind of does equal 0, but here's the thing. 0 is not in our domain. You guys understand that? Okay, so the domain, when we're talking about a domain of a function, before we can actually put numbers into our function, we got to talk about our domain. Our domain is our possible x values. Put that on your little chart right there. Domain, so somewhere on your, I know I'm putting it here. You don't have to put it here. Just find a space. Domain is your possible inputs. Your possible inputs. I said x values because a lot of times we use the x variable. Possible inputs. Okay, so can someone raise their hand and tell me what would our domain be? What are our possible inputs? Chris? It would be 2 to 12, right? Okay, it is impossible to roll 2 dice or 2 number cubes and get a 0. It is impossible to roll 2 number cubes and get a 1. They're not into our domain. Now, could we actually get a 2? Yeah. So we were going to put when we actually can get it, I'm going to put a square bracket. So our domain, this is called set notation I'm doing right here. You guys see that? Now, what is the highest value we can get? 12. And we can get all the way to equal to 12, right? So our domain, ladies and gentlemen, is anywhere. This is called set notation from 2 to 12. Y'all understand that? Cody, our domain is our inputs, right? Okay, now, what do we call our outputs? You guys remember that from algebra? Range. Very good. So what would our possible, now, our range could vary, right? Okay, so our range could be anywhere from, well, that's an interesting thing. Our range is going to depend on our graphs, right? Because some of our graphs are going to be higher. So our range, but we know our range is not going to go higher than what? What's the highest frequency we could, in theory, possibly have, Caitlin? What do you think? 50, right? Rachel, what do you think? Well, in this case, the highest one is 9, right? So for this graph right here, so you have to look at the range of the graph. So each one of your range is going to be different. In theory, could we have a range of 50? Yes. Most likely that's not going to happen though, right? It's not likely you're going to get the same answer 50 different times. In theory, it could happen, but most likely it's not going to. You guys understand that? Okay, so if I'm looking at this range right here, I'm going to use Sam and Chris's histogram to decide my range. You guys understand that? So what is the smallest? The range is the outcome, the frequency. What's the smallest frequency they have, class? 1. What's the greatest frequency they have? 9. Okay, so if we're looking at this, I want to know what is f of 6 equal to? What's f of 6? F of 6 is equal to 6. You guys see that? What is f of 12 equal to? F of 12 is equal to 1. You guys see that? Yes. So now we're talking about functions and histograms, and your packet is going to talk about that. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Okay, those are some things that I saw in your packet that I want to talk about. You could even do something like this. What is f of 5 through 9? What would f of 5 through 9 be? Oh, excuse me, 5 through 8. My bad. 5 through 8. What's the function of getting a 5 through an 8? 24. And how did you get that, Austin?
I added how much people rolled a 5, 6, 7, and 8.
How many people rolled a 5, Austin?
2.
How many people rolled a 7?
6.
How many people rolled a 9? And how many rolled an 8?
7.
And then you just add those up, right? Okay. Chris.
So, like, I saw it was like, this is a single, like, one bar thing.
Yep.
If it's, like, multiple and it says, like, f of, you say it's, like, 2 to, like, 4, like, bars.
Yep.
It's, like, f of 3. Would you, like, count, like, the entire bar?
Yeah, you count the whole bar. You guys understand that? Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
Okay, so that's kind of what you're going to see in your booklets. So what I want to do now is I want to give you a little time to get into that booklet and work on some problems. Does that sound good? All right. So this activity was to help us kind of just answer some questions and kind of get an idea what they're doing in those booklets. Okay. Remember, guys, just a heads up. Let's go through it one more time. In Schoology, your homework is
Hey, you're so lazy. No, she can pick it up.
pages 9 through 11 and 17 through 32. Okay, so that's what I need you guys to do by Tuesday, September 14th.